fellow YouTubers. So, I don't know how many of you guys struggled in school a little bit, but I did. And I got some good help. I'm taking you guys with me. This is footage from yesterday, driving all throughout the Rancho Palos Verdes Mountains. Just beautiful roads with sycamore trees, white picket fences. You got a lot of horses in people's front yards up here. It's just beautiful, and it's so close and accessible to me. But I want to talk a little bit about kids getting help with education in school, because that's what I've been doing for 27 years. Myself, and I, when I was in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, I didn't really have much supervision with my life in general, but more specifically my schoolwork. So it was my big brother and I tearing up the streets and having fun. And I just remember in a parent conference, a teacher telling my mother that he never turns in homework, and he gets homework every night. And I talked to the first grade teacher, and she said the same thing. He never did homework. And so I talked to the kindergarten teacher. She said the same thing. He's never done homework. And this teacher even asked my mom, he's wild. He's like an animal. Do you have any supervision at home, or do you have any guidelines or rules on behavior at home? So, third grade, end of second grade, somewhere around there, they started talking about retaining me and keeping me home from school. How scary. And so I started reading novels right when I'd get home from school every day. I started with O.J. Simpson, a little autobiography about O.J., and then Hank Aaron, and then Dr. Dre. And so by the time I'd finished all three of those books, I started third grade, and they set me up with a reading specialist for like 1 hour a day at the end of the day after lunch, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'd go to her, and she was just focusing on my reading skills. And within that 1 year, I pretty much caught up to grade level. But then sixth grade, I transferred to a Catholic school, and bam, I was like 2 years behind again, because these Catholic kids were so advanced. So I had to keep up the hard routine of going home and reading every day. When I was getting like 2 or 3 hours of homework at this Catholic elementary school, so I would go home and literally study like 5 hours a day after just a couple of years of having to go home and really study hard on my own quite a bit. So, but basically I was able to pick myself up by my bootstraps and avoid special education, avoid labels, and get on grade level. But then I went into really high expectations, all boys Catholic high school, and I had to really, because I had some kind of learning disability. I had an auditory processing deficit, and that's when, to process what you're hearing's fine, your ears work fine, but to process what you're hearing takes a little bit of extra effort, a little bit of extra energy on your part. And so when you're going through a whole day of teachers giving you instruction, you're having to really kind of concentrate more than your peers, and your brain burns out at a certain point, and you just start missing information. So I don't know how many of you know the concept of sitting in class, the teacher say, okay, everyone hand up your homework, and everyone just nonchalantly reaches down in their backpack, grabs their homework, and hands it in. You're like, what? She didn't give us homework. So, that used to happen to me a lot. So I really had to learn how to take good notes and make sure I wrote down what the homework was before I left every class. But anyways, as a school psychologist that I've been doing, like I said, for quite some time, you get one of two kinds of parents that come to you. One is the kind of parent that says, little Joey really needs help, I'm concerned. I've had a tutor, I'm working with him, I'm talking to his teacher, the teacher's having concerns, and we just can't seem to get him over the hoop, get him reading on grade level. And so they just want a little bit of help, and they don't really want anything other than to get Joey reading on grade level. The other kind of parent is the one that literally wants to get past that first step in special education and wants to get them deep into the second step, because then they can get a $500, $600 Social Security income check for their child every day. So as long as they get them into special ed, and they know this, that most of the parents that talk, especially in the poor areas where I work, they know this, and if they have 2 kids and they can get both into a special day classroom, that's $1,000 a month they're going to get off that child. So, and it's a shame because we put them in there even if they really don't qualify, because they're not doing homework, they're not paying attention in class, and so why they're behind academically, and they come from a poor family where they don't really care about academics. So but you put them in there anyways because the kid's like 2 or 3 years behind in all academic areas, and then it's just such a bogs the teacher down, and it's such a drain on that typical general education classroom. So then the parents get what they want, and the teacher and the school gets what they want, because this kid's so far behind that he can't stand in general education setting. So everyone's happy except Uncle Sam that's left footing the bill. So, it is kind of frustrating seeing this happen so much, and it's so rare that you see a child go into the resource program and get back on grade level and then be allowed to stop going to the resource teacher, which is basically what I did for 1 year. I went into that, I think she was just a reading specialist. I don't think I got tested for special education, but, just be able to get back on grade level and then stop. You almost never see that. So the school psychologist, you'll see that once every several years. You'll have to go several years of working with hundreds and thousands of children before you'll see that once. And it's such a shame. But public education, for the most part, does their best. But, you have a lot of families that don't really care about education anymore. They don't even really care about getting their kids to act right. And so a lot of times when the student will come home and complain about the teacher to the parent, the parent will just say, "Oh, that teacher's an idiot, you don't have to listen to them." And instead of, talking to the teacher, finding out where the difficulties lie, and then addressing them and saying, "You better, I'm going to check with your teacher every Friday, and if you don't get a good report on Friday, your whole weekend's going to be, no fun. Get a good report from the teacher, and you can do whatever you want. We'll even take you to a theme park." And so, the school and the home really needs to work together. 1, and 2, the parent has to really show some enthusiasm for school, for learning, for doing the homework, and offer incentives. If you're doing your homework, you get little surprises and little toys throughout the month. So home life is so important to the school life. What is the child bringing to the table? What are they coming to school with? Are they getting a good night's sleep, a good dinner, a good breakfast before they come to school? Or are they literally going to sleep at 12 at night, the minute they roll out of bed, having to throw on shoes and pants and a shirt and stumble off to school? Have a good day.